This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, this is the first session, a live session called user creation. Whenever a basis consultant he advertise himself, sell himself to the consultant, to the company, to the MNCs, so you should know how to work with users and roles. Because sometimes you acquired as a basis consultant, sometimes you should acquired as a security consultant. Both are different things. Okay. For some companies who are not bearing a cost of a basis consultant and a security consultant, at that time you have to perform all activity in one go. Or if you take a big company where there are different security peoples, there are different basis peoples, there are different backup peoples, then work gets aggregated into many peoples. So depending on, but we are going to cover each and everything. If you want to hire with a big company also, you should know all these things. The small company also, you should also know this. So for the reason, we are going to work on user creation today. Okay. So here what happened? All users are SAP created with role wise and designation wise. Role wise and designation wise. And when you talk about user, okay, you also work with some ERPs where user is a must. For working with the Windows environment also, user required, or you work with any ERP, user is required. User is the identity of that user. Okay, who is that user for what? Because you hired somebody for fire somebody for SD, you hired somebody for FI, but those are the designations. In offer letter, you written properly mentioned you are appointed for this company for working for activities, for SD activities. So what happened once you acquired him for certain roles, for certain activities, you have to create those kind of roles for him only. Those kind of roles for him only. So who create roles and users? A basis will create users also. Basis will create users and roles also. With the help of roles, what happen? You can you can sync you can make a whole control of the user with the help of roles. See, there's a company on which you're working is a 10 billion crores company you're working for, and there are 4,000 SAP users who logged in every day. But you logged in from Delhi. You logged in from Delhi to working with only Delhi location. Working with only Delhi location. When you logged in, you know the company is ABC is a big company, 10 billion company. But the security person create a role for you for which you can able to work only with Delhi. You cannot see what is Mumbai, what is South Africa, what is Denmark, what is USA. No, you are eligible to see only Delhi. Matlab you can able to see only 50 lakh business or 1 crore business in front of you for the whole year. Even they have hundred of thousands of branches throughout the world, but you are appointed for Delhi. The roles are making in such a way they control you on particular plant, particular place, particular purchasing organization, particular sales organization. So who create those? That is the magic of security. Even you invested some crores, some billion crores, but your money will not cheated at any point of time because nobody can steal your data and sell some to somebody saying that this is the financial year data. Only the lead officials having those access to see actual sales of the year. But Delhi guy only able to see sales for Delhi, purchase for Delhi. If you want to see for some other reason, he may need some other access for it. For that, he call you and asking, okay, Mr. Basis, I am not able to see this. Then you say, no, sir, you are for Delhi. So you work for Delhi only. If you want some more, please take approval from your manager. Then I'll sign you. Otherwise, please don't ask me. That's the thing. Okay. So users are appointed for each user in as we discussed in last sessions, we have development servers, we have quality servers, we have production server. So we do have users in development, we do have users in quality, and we do have users in production. If you create 1000 users in development, nobody will ask why you create all those things. Even if you create 2000 users in quality, nobody will ask, you do whatever you want to do, no charges for that. But when it comes to production, each user costs you 1.5 lakh rupees. Each user, if you create a wrong user, company has to pay 1.5 lakh rupees to SAP. Okay. So if you create 10 users for your friend, for your colleagues on friendly basis, then you have to responsible for that and give answer to the management why you created those users. For creation of users in production, there are some org levels, you have to maintain, you have to take approval from authorities, then only you can able to create users in production. Otherwise, if you create users unnecessary production, which is cost to the company minimum 1.5 lakh rupees for each user. So whatever user you create, it should be, if it's a purchase user, purchase by purchase department have require a user. If it's a sales user, it must be approved by your manager also, and sales department also, and head of IT also, and that finance control of the company also key. We are spending 1.5 liquids for him. Okay, no problem. So after getting all approvals, then you check all approvals proper in place, then only create user and tell them. Okay, that is what you need to do. So if you create users in dev quality, no licensing cost, but you create users in production, it requires a licensing cost. When a person leaves the organization for him, do not delete that user, just deactivate that user from production server. One more thing, whenever a user left, because people are coming and going in all the companies, okay? So we have to create roles users in such a way that could be usable for next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, same user. How it's possible? So there are many ways to create users in all companies using different ways to create users. Like somebody uses MM user 1, MM user 2, MM user 3 till MM30. If MM user 3 left the organization for any reason, don't delete it, deactivate him. When you take a new user, just give this user to him. You take MM user. Matlab it means what? Don't, no need of deletion of user. You just change the name, first name, last name of the person, and give that same user ID to the new user who have joined. Like this is the main thing which all big companies follows. All big companies follows like this way. Or somebody uses like first name and the surname, first name and surname, or first name, last name, and the employee ID. Wherever company you join, you got one ID like 12345 456 28 1764, any number between 10,000 20,000, depending upon whenever you join the company. Okay, so it may be lakhs also. There is no rigid rule key, it has to be this number. Whenever you join, if company has already appointed 3 lakh users, then you would be a 3 lakh one use first user, like that. The first name, last name, and the employee ID. Or your first name, surname, and the employee ID. And depending upon first name, last name, and the age, then these are different criteria of user creation. But who decides this? Who decides this? This is decided by your management who spend the money on the project. They are the only, you suggest them, 'cause these are the ways, sir, to create users. Then they decide upon, because the way the first user created in SAP production server, you have to follow that rule for next 10 years, 20 years, till that things got changed from the management. Once things are rigid and create PDF, because if you go to any company, there is one Excel sheet, there is one PDF creation of users, but you have to follow that. You change 10 companies, you can find 10 ways to create users. Different company users, different techniques to create users. So depending upon, you have to suggest them, these are the available ways how we create users. Then they will choose the way how to create the users in their landscape. Okay. Now users, users in SAP. We have different types of users in SAP. We have different types of users. Like what all those types we are going to see today in details. Like see, we have kind 5 kinds of users. We have 5 kinds of users in SAP. What all those 5 kinds? Like you can say we have dialogue users. Dialogue user. You have to remember these names, huh? And system user, and the communication user, and the reference user, and the service user. Anywhere you go to any country, as we discussed in first session, SAP is being used in 190 countries. If you go to any one country, these are the 5 things used. There is no 6 ways, there are no 4 ways. Though these are fixed from 1992, there are 5 types of users created in SAP. You can go anywhere in the world, as a basis concept you join, you should remember only 5 types of users. Okay, but what is the use of this 5 type users? Not like you create all dialog users. Not possible to create all system users. No, this all depending upon the work for the user. You can decide which type of user you need to create for him. Okay. Now we discuss. each type of user in detail. So dialog user. Whenever you think about dialog user, is a online user. The small definition is an online user or is an interactive user. He can able to log on. He can able to change his password. User check always for expiry date. See, this is very important. Huh? User check always for expiry date. It means what? It means what? You create one user. You create one user. Okay, today is what? Third, 3rd of Jan. You create user on 3rd of Jan and you create user till 10th of Jan only. 10th of Jan only. So when you try to log in system on 11th of Jan, then what message you should get? Your user has been expired. You are not able to log into the system. How it possible? Because his use checks always expiry date. If expiry date is less than current date, then only he can able to log into the system. If expiry date is greater than current date, then not possible because expiry date is 10th of Jan and you try to log into 11th of Jan. So it said, sorry, you cannot able to log in because you have crossed your date of creation. So whom to coordinate? Again call basis. Basis what happened? I am not able to log into my server. So you said, no, sir, I have got a mail from my manager or my teammate that you should be created for 3rd of Jan to 10th of June. I did my job. And if at all you require the extension of a user ID, just please ask your manager or ask the person who told you to come over here because this is eligible only for the tax consultants or outside consultant who are visit office for fixed period of time like for 5 days, for 10 days, for 15 days, for audit purpose, for tax purpose, for any FI activities, for any consulting activities. If somebody wants to check your system for some reasons, so you have to create this restriction for those users. Otherwise, what happens? If you forget to give expiry date, you go outside and use your system like anything. And you can do some mess also because those users are experts in their environment. Those users are expert in their environment. So dialog users check always for expiry. And if you join any big company also, what rule they have, whenever they create user, they keep it till 31st March in some companies, or they keep it for 31st December. Financial, if they follow January to 31st January December, they keep it 31st December. If they follow 1st April to 31st March, they keep till 31st March. No problem. You, if you're there in company, automatically everything gets changed on 1st of April. But you are not getting message if because somebody left the organizations for any reason, for those kind of things, they will get deactivated automatically. If you're working on 1st April, your system is automatically get extended for their in company live. Okay, so this is followed by all the companies. Multiple logins not possible. See, this is the main point in SAP. Multiple logins are not possible. It means what? If you create one dialog user mm01, so you can able to access by only one user. Like first floor one user, second floor user, not possible. First floor, you have 6 floors company. First floor user use MM01. Second floor user also use MM01. They are both are working at same time. Nobody will agree. SAP will not agree for that. SAP agrees. You use one user for 24/7. No problem. Like first shift person come, works on MM user one. He left this shift. Second person come, join again. He logged in with MM01. No problem. Night shift person come, he joined with his ID. No problem. But what SAP said, one time, one only user allowed. No multiple logins allowed for the same user, same time on the same server. So who maintain this? Basis has to maintain this. I'll show you how to maintain. If you try to log in second time, the system will not accept saying that key already been logged into the system. This is eligible only for the production servers. Quality, development, sandbox, validation, simulation. Nobody cares whatever you want to. But whenever come to production, this is very rigid. SAP is very rigid. If you do this thing, first time they will allow you. Okay, no, they will. If you see, this is the first day of implementation. SAP will log into system. See somebody logged in multiple times. Also, they want you one, two, three times. Okay, if you continue to do that, they will send a penalty amount to a management saying that you have to pay this penalty for this. Otherwise, you are going to remove account. That that also happens with the many people. So who will take care? Basis. Tell management "Okay, this is SAP rule. So we are not going to do all this. If I do, if management tell to do, you tell okay, sir, I'm doing. But if anything happens, you have to take responsibility because SAP will not allow multiple logins in production server. That is a thumb rule. You find many SAP notes on top of this. Okay, this type of user can able to log into the system. मतलब this users can able to log into system. मतलब is a live user, is a end user. You can see it from anywhere in the world. If he has an IP address, SID, system number, he can easily log in. And what work they do? They input some store materials into system. They do some payments. They receive payments with them. All day-to-day activities according to their roles, according to their designation. They try to put data into SAP system. And if you are not mentioning any expiry date for any reason, it will take by default this date. Can you imagine this date? If I create user like ABC and I haven't mentioned an expiry date, the by default the expiry date
Yes.
is this.
Lifetime.
Lifetime, not your lifetime. 10% after you also, 50% after you also.
True, true, true.
Not for you and me. It's for 100 generations.
Correct.
Okay, so you can define. If you're not defined, it will take this date, or you can define your own date, like 3010 to 1011. It's all depending upon your mail, your approvals and mail. You have to check this date before creating. So once you finish, just send a mail to the person saying that "Okay, I have created user with following dates and all everything. Matlab your work is done. Matlab dialog users are online users. And for whenever you create dialog user, you need to pay 1.5 lakhs. But that every day don't pay 1.5 lakhs. You tell SAP I want 300 users. Pay for 300 users. They will credit 300 users in your account. You just start creating users. When you feel 270 users are created, then inform management immediately, because when you ordered users, it takes 10-15 days and you have to arrange for a big amount of money. It may be some crores also if you want more users. It may be some lakhs also. So you inform management when you cross 260, like 40 users are there, to inform them, sir, only we left with 40 users and this is my data. Why I created 260 users, see this, and please approve 50 more users for us, 100 more users for us. Okay, because if you order today and pay money, then only they process things after 15-20 days to in account. That is the thumb rule. So basis only take care of this thing also, not basis. If you are a basis lead and security, you have to take care. Otherwise, if you are only purely basis, then security will take care of this kind of things. Okay, this is what. And for dialog user, you need to pay money. Money will get deducted automatically. Okay. And second user, the system user. Second user is a system user. System user are the user used for background processing. See, this is for different work. This is for all users who doing their task only. They play. They are there to work. They are there to play their roles only. Whenever required, we use that user. Okay. For background processing of the jobs such as RFC user, ALE user, TM. See, we are going to work with RFC users. We are going to work with ALE users. We are going to work with TMS users. What is TMS? TMS is Transport Management System. What is this RFCs? Is remote. These all are topics. Huh? These all are future topics for you. RFC means remote function call. TMS means Transport Management System. CUA means Central User Administration. These all are these all are topics for you. And for these topics, if you work with any background RFCs, you need system user. If you work with TMS, you need system user. And for this user, no need to pay any money for the SAP. This is for internal work. You are not going to do any business. You are not going to do any profit out of it. These users are required to work your system properly. The worker system, see, this user cannot able to log into the system. See the first thing. This, if I create a Mr. A system user and assign it to you and ask him to log in, when he tries, that system give error message saying that key, you are not a dialog user. It says You are not a dialog user, you are not able to log into the system. It means what? And they are not able to change their passwords. How possible? They are not able to log into system means they will not allow to change their passwords also. Admin only help to change the passwords. Multiple logins are permitted for this type of user, but dialog logins are not possible. Dialog logins are not. It means what? Here, whenever I create system user, the user ID, the password which I give, that is the final password for him. Why show? Because see, in a company, in a firm, in a production server, there are 300 to 400 background jobs which are running every night. If it's a live production server, so in that, if I create system user myself and anybody logged in and change the password, so what happened? All jobs get failed because of simple mistake of password. The only basis people has a rights to log in this kind of users, and they create Excel sheet and they have to maintain what password they give in which server. If they forgot that, then it will be a headache for them. So even if I show you my sheet of passwords, is a 10 Excel sheet, is a 10 Excel sheets, each having minimum 200 lines just for user ID and passwords. So we don't remember. You also, you and me, nobody remember all those things. Whenever things comes, we just log into that sheet and check our password. So this is my password. Oh, this is my user ID. This is a client. Like that we follow. That we need to have access to that sheet. Whenever we log into our system to start work, first a few documents we need to load, because if you uh, we need to log into 75 80 systems every day, not every day, any systems comes randomly, so we need to keep user IDs and passwords for all system in one sheet. All these passwords, so RF system passwords for one sheet, as licenses for one sheet, like we need to, because any ticket comes any place, no problem, you will never know na, if you log into a shift. So this is not predictable shift key, you need to do this activity at 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Whenever your tickets come, start working on that. For that, some prerequisites from your side. You need to be ready with all guns, because you need to solve tickets in a few minutes of within 30 minutes. Not like you take the tickets, log in and take two time pass, because your manager will he always behind to take that, what happened, why is it solved? It's a easy ticket. It is to solve in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, like that. Every day we need to solve some 20, 15, 20 tickets in our shifts, depending upon the availability of the tickets. Okay. So this is what system user. Now you see communication user. Now you see communicate this type of users for RFC between SAP systems. These types of users used between the communication between the RFC SAP systems. Dialog logins are not possible. They are not able to change their own passwords. They are not able to log into system as dialog users. See, only dialog, if somebody asks you who is able to log into system, only dialog user. System user not able to log in. Communication user not able to log into system. They are just created to do some internal work of SAP. They are they are here for doing some internal work. Expiry date is not checking for them, and they are not able to log in system. They are not able to change their passwords also. All restrictions are there for communication users.
What
And
is the
now you
difference
see,
between what is the difference between communication user and system user? Because both of them are used for RFC. Both of them will not be able to change their password. Then what is the
see,
use?
communication user is not used for TMS.
Okay.
Communication is not for TMS and CUA. Only system users are used for TMS and CUA. When we jump onto this RFC session, when you jump
Mhm.
onto TMS system, when you jump onto CO session, at that time
Okay.
we can elaborate one hour, because if I start discussing this, our lecture will finish and
Correct.
we need to
Correct.
start from tomorrow. If you
Correct.
give me one topic RFC, I can talk 2 hours on RFC only. If you give me
Mhm.
topic on TMS, I can talk. If I tell somebody to talk on TMS, he'll talk 3 lines on TMS over, sir. I know this much. But if you give me chance to talk on TMS, I can challenge you. I can talk for 1 hour on TMS only.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
That, so no problem. We have a topic on TMS, so we can elaborate. And you are going to get all the videos. No problem for that. Okay. So what happened
No, I
when the course completes? Yeah.
I was just confused between
No,
the
no, no.
system users and
This
communication users.
TMS. TMS and CUA only used by system user.
Mhm.
Communication will not allow for TMS and CUA. So you will
Okay,
get the reasons behind that. No issues. Okay.
got it. Good. Okay, okay.
Okay. And the things come for reference user. Things come for reference user. The thumb rule in SAP, whenever you work with SAP, creation of roles and see, as we discussed, we have 2000 users. Some company may have 300 users. Some company have 3000 users. Some company may have 7000 users also, depending upon company's infrastructure, company's business, and company expansion throughout the world. Okay. It's not same for all. Somebody does business of 5 crores, somebody 50, somebody 500, depending upon expensive business. So where this reference user come into scenario, see, there are few users in all companies, like your company, my company also. There are few users who are main users. Main users means for income, your company also some managers are there who handles everything, matlab, they are the source for anything. If director wants something, he calls them. If any user wants something, they'll call them because they know he's working in the company from last 15 years. He has good experience. He know all the modules. Like I'm talking about those persons. Only few are there out of the 3,000 users. Only few, 5 or 6 users are like this who know everything. If in Gujarat side something went wrong in MM, he called to a head office MM consultant who know everything in MM. Sir, the issue. Okay, no problem. I'll see to it. From Delhi, some FIP consultant an issue. He called to Mumbai only head office telling this, I have this issue, facing this issue, because this consultant has all the knowledge. He's working in this company from the scrap. So we know all the process. If wherever user stuck, you can remove him in immediately. So what happened? This type of users having more roles for their user IDs. More roles means you can handle MM also, you can handle SD also, you can handle FI also, you can handle PP also, sometimes you can handle bases also. So what happened? Number of roles are going to increase for him. If I do SD user, he has 50 roles, no problem. If it MM user, 60 roles, no problem. But if you add all those roles to one user, what happened? The number of roles are going to increase massively rapidly. Okay. For for those things also, SAP has some restrictions. Okay. What restrictions they give? For one user, you can allow 312 roles only. Deadline. Deadline is an interview question for you. For one layman user, you can add 312 roles. If you try to add 313th role, it says you have crossed the limit of assigning roles. Now, no single role can be assigned to this user. Stop. Now what you do? SAP will not allow to do those things. But but the user require 10 more roles. Otherwise, you have to remove 10 roles, add some roles. So if you say you remove some roles, he cannot able to some of the transaction codes. He may be not able to do some activities which he was able to do still yesterday. So not possible to remove his roles. What do you need to do? You need to add 10 roles. So SAP gave one options. You have to create one a reference role. Like ABC is working, so XYZ is a reference for ABC. You create XYZ as a reference of ABC. Once you create XYZ as a reference for ABC, then you can allow 300 and more roles, but it's a non-chargeable. It's a non-chargeable. Create one user and create as a reference user, assign it to live user, but the reference user is the interview question. Is the reference user is chargeable? No, it is not chargeable. Only the live user is chargeable. ABC is the live user, XYZ reference for ABC. So what XYZ is doing, he is not doing anything. He just give reference to ABC to add more 312 rows in his bucket. So what SAP? But if you create any reference role, reference user, no charges. If you add this, what we do, we use this reference user to dialog user. We use this reference user, we try to add a dialog user. Dialog is you already paid one the money which is discussed like, okay. So reference user is free of cost. Okay, they are not able to log in system directly. They cannot change their passwords, and multiple logins are allowed. But multiple logins not possible. Nobody do. So whenever you work with reference user, you remember one thing is a unchargeable. and is assigned to some of the user. Once 312 plus 312, 624 roles. But nowadays what happened? It was a it was the it was the thing few years back, like 8 to 9 years back when I started working in SAP. These things happen and we are fed up for 3 4 days for doing all these funny things. But now what happened? We have we have some smart roles nowadays. Matlab, no user has 312 roles now. We can wind up him in 50 roles only. If he's a lead, feed, anything, he's a direct any person we can vanish him in with all the roles. Their roles also get many advanced roles now. So by that what happened? You can finish him in 100 roles, everything 50 60 roles, we finish everything. There are many new techniques to create. Previously nobody knows the full things in this advanced things in this roles creation and all. The SAP also making few changes because this hampering sometimes to the users. So SAP come with the new solutions. Now I have seen from last 7 8 years nobody creates this reference user for any reason because they wind up multiple roles added into one role. By that, in his bucket, he is having only 60, 50, 60 roles. Even if you work for the whole company for the whole lifetime, no more than 60 roles. That's it. Okay. I'll show you how to do. Previously, what happened, now what happened, I'll show you. Okay. Because previously there were no experts in basis. Now people are learning so many things, new things in basis. By that, they can uh, do work as they require. Okay. Now, the last type is service user. Last thing is a service user. We have seen dialogue, we have seen system, communication. Now the reference, now the last, we are come jump on to the last user called service user. Who is the service user? This user avail in larger numbers. These users available in larger in numbers. Okay, this user having very limited access to the system. See, this is the main thing. These users having very limited access to the system. Why? There's a reason behind this. Okay, they can able to log into the systems, even though they couldn't able to log into the system, but they have very limited access to the system. Why? Because these are the larger, these users are larger, like not 2 3 users. You may have 2000 users, you may have 3000 users, you may have 5000 users. Like though in those numbers is available. Matlab service user equals to number of users in your company, number of employees in your company. Like for example, your company you have 5000 employees, not users, 5000 employees in which 600 people working in SAP, different, and remaining users working for different departments, like some manufacturing department, some this department, this department, finance department, marketing, peons, clerks, drivers, like blah blah blah. Total 5000 users, out of which only 600 users are working with SAP. So it means with what you say, my company in my company we need 600 users only. But when you create service users, when you create service, I discussed earlier also, service users is equal to number of employees of your company. Number of employee means 5000. Number of employee means 5000. And we discuss one more thing, they have got a limited access. Why? I'll explain you now why they have got limited access. Otherwise they are demolishing the system on next day itself if you give full access to them. Why? See, when we use service user, when you implement a portal kind of thing, HR portal kind of thing in your office, like we discussed in first session, we have for HR purposes we have HR solutions in SAP also, or you have got PeopleSoft software, or there are thousands of third-party APIs who controls your whole salary sector, like HR solutions. There are, if there is a company with 100 employees also, they have to purchase one software to maintain their employee salary, PF, gratuity, pension, relieving date, posting date, everything. They need to go with one software. But SAP has got solutions of HR also. So if you implement ECC in a organization, somebody wants HR should be implemented there in SAP itself. In SAP also. What company said? You have to implement HR also in our solution only. मतलब HR also should be there in our company. So if you take HR, so what do you want? If you take HR, so what is HR purpose? You can see everybody able to see salary slip. Everybody you can to apply a leave. Everybody can take approvals for leaves. You can see salary amount on that set, like leave balances all. So what if you implement HR at your place, then you have to purchase 5,000 user licenses as service user. And as these users are bulk in numbers, they don't charge you much amount, like no 1 lakh rupees. They hardly charge 4 5,000 rupees per user, because you purchase users in a bulk. You purchase in a bulk, and you have taken HR also. So even P1, even driver, even clerk, even all users have their user IDs. So what happened? How many roles you give? You give two rules to them. Only two rules to each user ID. Whenever you can through mobile also they can log in. What they do on first time everyone they log in. I just want to check my salary is great or not. You just log into the portal. Use user ID password. He has only two roles. He can display his salary. You cannot change anything. You can only display salary slip. Oh, my salary is debited, credited. Thank you. Then if you want to see his leave balances, you can see leave balances in display mode, no change mode. Or if you want to apply for leave in change mode, matlab one leave change mode and remaining to a display mode. Because if you give SAP all, matlab if you give all more roles to this kind of users, they don't know what is system why. They just logged in and search in Google and trying some transaction codes, which may hamper your system like anything. So for creating service users, even they are large in numbers, these users having very limited access to this system. They can able to log it. It means dialog users and service users are la- log into the system. This type of users are largely in numbers and known as anonymous users. They are known as anonymous users. So this is what I would like to make you explain for users. Now what we will do, what all things we have for users. When I talk about users, we are going to work with following transaction codes. See, whole SAP lies under transaction codes only. We are going to work on SU01, we are going to work on SU10, we are going to work on SU01D, and we are going to work on SUGR. Okay, when you install new system, when you install like we are going to install new system next week or this weekend, anyway, anytime. So what you get, you will get two user IDs like SAP DDIC and SAP Star. These are system users. By default, you will get these two users, okay, with SAP all, SAP new profiles, with SAP all, SAP new profiles. So if you have somebody has this profile and this profile, so he has having access to this many T codes. He is having access to this many T codes. Okay. So whenever you create any user production, you double check or check 4 times. It's up to you. Nobody has these roles, these profiles to any of the agent production. If somebody caught you, you assign this role to somebody, then they put you on fire directly. Because if somebody has this thing means they can work with all modules, all finance modules, FI modules, business modules, everything. You can do anything in system. And once you assign delete also, it will create locky basis guy, give SAP all role on 1st of January, remove on 3rd of January. You want to explain why did you give these roles to particular person on particular audit. When audit comes, they will check, they will just run one third party tool in your system. They will just run third party script in your system. By that, they come to know in 15 minutes what all things you have done in the whole year. How many times you use this user ID, how many times you use this thing, how many times multiple logins happen, everything come into scenario in 15 20 minutes itself. Then you have to answerable to the auditors. You have to do SAP audit also, you have to do internal audit also. SAP send third party to a company to the audit, what all mess you did. And most probably finance sectors to audit 3 times in a year, because if you give any wrong transaction to any user, you can do mess with the system. The whole transaction balance sheet get untitled because of those because sometimes what happen, basis never know what transaction should give. If somebody mail you and give approval, please give this request to my FI user, you are given, you don't know anything. But with that transaction, many things happen. You also don't know, the FI consultant also don't know. But the audit comes, he explain you, please remove this immediately. Or whenever you give this transaction code, make it limited access. Otherwise, you can demolish the system totally. Total system get demolished with one transaction code in FI. So audit has to be done every 6 months for FI mainly. For base activities, once in a year. So all companies spending minimum 15 lakh rupees for audit every year. Small companies, big companies, I don't know. Okay, audit goes for 15 days. Each company has to submit audit report to SAP. We have done the audit. This is the audit report. This is also an expense for the company. Okay. If you take big companies, they invested crores of rupees in audit only because they need to find any FI transaction get missed, because in FI you see all 500 crores, 300 crores, 500 crores transaction only if it's a big company. If they found any one missed transaction, to just see, for those reasons company get top to bottom in next day itself. Okay, so they'll do audit 2 times for FI audit. Somebody, if it's a finance company, they do 3 time audits only for finance. And we know this 3 clients which are coming to us directly and indirectly when you install system. Okay, now I'll take you to the system. I'll just show you the system, how it looks. So this is a system. This is my SAP system. Whenever I'll give you access today. Okay, I'll send you the credentials today by evening. You can able to access system from tomorrow. No problem. Okay. See, this is my first screen. How I reach here? Just go here. This
Okay.
is my IP
Yes.
address.
Mm-hmm.
This is my SID. This is my IP address. This is my
Okay.
system number. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
just give. This is my client. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
This is my user. I logged into my system. Logged into the system. Now I'll show you few things in system. What all things
Mm-hmm.
you need to care while working with the system.
Okay.
See, there are few things which you need to remember. /n. Okay. /o /nex. These are 3 things you need to keep in mind while logging to the systems. /n/o/nex. So I'll use transaction code SU01. I just choose transaction code SU01 and press enter. It will give me a new screen to create a new users. Whatever things you want to do, you can do it from here. Okay, create user, change user, display user, delete user, copy user, lock user, everything you can start working on that. But you want one more screen. You want to see some information. Okay. So what you do, I give /o SU10. See, I given /o SU10, press enter. The new window comes, but your old window is there. And I got one new window also. Now you're working with 2 windows because you use /o. Now again I use /o. I give one more transaction, PFCG, enter. The new screen comes, but here SU01, SU10, and PFCG. But you're working with, but functional team work with 6677 like these screens because they need to take data from one screen, enter into second screen. Like this happens for mostly for functional team. They need always 4 to 5 screens live. Otherwise, they will not able to work with one screen. Okay. Now you come to know about /n/o. Now you see /n. What now? You just count 1, 2, 3. Please remember this. We have 3 counts of sessions. 3 sessions we have live sessions. Now what I'm using? I'm using /n SM37. Okay. Previously I used /o. Now I use /n SM37 and press enter. what happened here? I'll count my sessions. See, I have got 3 sessions only. What slash n will do? It will delete existing screen. It will create new override the existing screen. What slash n will do? It will override the existing screen. And what slash n will do? It will append one new screen in front of you. It will append one new screen in front of you slash o, and slash n will override the existing screen. That is a difference between slash o and slash n. And what does the, I'll take this screen now. I'll take this screen, and I try to use one more T code. So what should be number count? It remains 3 only, because it's override the existing screen and create new screen over here with the help of slash n. Okay, now you see slash nex. Now you opened development 4 sessions, quality 4 sessions, production 4 sessions. Now you have to log out. So how you log out? From each session, if you want to log out, go here, log off. This is a one way. You log off from all system in one go. You put log off, you log off from all sessions in one go. Otherwise, what you can do, I have 3 transactions here. So where is third one?
We override, right, with the slash
Yeah,
n.
yeah. I'll take one more. Now I have got 3. Okay. Now I have to come out of 1 go here, exit. Still 2 are there. Come out of this, 2 are there. You can log out from 1 also, and you can log out multiple also. If you have 5 screens, what you do? You have to immediately log out from all screens. So what do you do? Either you log off from all systems at one time, or you can use transaction code. I'll show you 1 minute. See here, how many are there now? 1, 2, 3 again. I'll take one more session. Now we have got 4 sessions. I have to come out of all. Just use nex slash nex. Press enter. You come out of all in one go.
The
You come out
question
of.
is, if user have unsaved work in any of the window, will it prompt for saving the work, or it will log off forcefully?
It will log off forcefully.
Okay, okay,
If functional team working on purchase requisition, sales order kind of things, it will alert you for save, whether you want to save or not. Because if I open a form with different 50 windows, like if
Mhm.
I vendor name, address, company code, material, you have to fill 50 columns. Okay,
Right,
you did
right.
everything, but you haven't saved. And if you uh, when I press this log to log off, it will ask whether you want to save or come out.
Okay.
That is nice. In Word document also, you type continuously for 2 hours and you try to
Hmm.
log shut down system. What it will ask, it will log Mr. Baba, Mr. ABC, if you want to save the record, or I can erase everything. It's up to you now. Whether you save, otherwise you lost your 3 hours work in a fraction of seconds.
Right.
So here also same thing happens. Here also same thing happens. If any window is open, okay, in Windows
Mhm.
open with all the entries, but you haven't saved that till last to reach and you forget to save, and in the evening you have to shut down system and go na. You cannot put system on. At the time it asks, Baba, kya you want to save it or leave it? So at that time you decide. If you
Mhm.
save, your database will get updated. Matlab you You have stock of 50, 500 item, you make a PO of 50, but then it will get 550 stock less when you press save. Until you press save, somebody checks, one more person checks the stock, he'll get 500, other person check 500, but it has to 450 because you made 50 ka purchase order already, but you haven't saved that record. Once you save, that 50 will get deducted from your stock and the stock will remain 450 only.
Okay.
Okay. So when it happens, when you commit the transaction, when you sell, yes, I'm agree, I'm saving this document. Like Amazon also, you visit Amazon for the whole day and you do window shopping. You go, you search, I want this mobile, I want this TV, I want this earphone, this, that you see, and you go till payment, but you haven't made payment. It will add to a cart? No. It is on cart, but it will not ship by delivery because you haven't made the payment. Once you
Mhm.
made payment, or you should say, "Okay, I'll pay you on cash." Matlab you bring my product, I'll pay you cash. You agreed. "Okay, I'll pay cash, please bring my product." So at that time, it started next process. Till that time, it will not update any database record. When you press, okay, I want this product, you press save, you make credit card payment or debit card payment or this cash on delivery, you agree from your side, then only the stock will read from the product will read from stock and it go for packaging or delivery. That is that
Okay.
rules happens. That thing applies in all the areas, not only Amazon, Flipkart, SAP. It will agree on all. Otherwise, if you do window shopping and stock will get deduct, you will never find your original stock in a database. One database works when you commit something, then only it will work.
Okay.
Okay, this is what. So tomorrow when we join, we will do practicals tomorrow. What
Okay.
practicals? The user practicals, which will take half an hour practicals. Then we will do one more session. So I'll send you the document, what all sessions we are going to do tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
So first
Okay.
show tomorrow we'll do practicals of user things and we will get server also to do practice and we will do work half an hour session,
Okay.
some theory for new session. Okay. Is
Okay.
it fine with you?
Yeah, absolutely fine for me.
Okay.